Is Olympus any good for street photography? Does the latest OM system cameras and lenses are any good for street photography? Let's talk about this now. Hi there, Tudor Matescu here. I want to address in this video if in 2025 I do think that Olympus OM system especially and also other micro four thirds cameras like Lumix GX9 are any good in our present days. I have here Olympus OMD EM10 Mark IV, and also I have a bunch of lenses for street photography that I will address immediately at the lenses part. So Olympus recently launched some new cameras like OM5 Mark II. Not a big improvement, but anyway, an improvement that it's there, and I really salute them for bringing new cameras. Yes, they don't change the cameras as much as Fujifilm is doing, but also Fujifilm inside of their cameras aren't bringing new innovations. So in the end, I don't think that OM5 Mark II is such a big flop launch because it's an incremental update but a welcomed update, and they didn't raise the price like Fujifilm is doing with Fujifilm X-E5. But more than that, I also want to address the looks, the aesthetics of the Olympus OM system cameras and the lenses and also the technology in them. First, I really love the looks of OM cameras. They are looking nice, they are looking retro. They have this nice SLR design that personally I feel that I like more than the Fujifilm cameras, and also they have that rangefinder lineup that they've included in a way in OM3. But I would have wished to see a new iteration of Pen F and so on. But anyway, they have the looks if you are asking me. And more than that, that OMC, it is really well made and really well built, metal feel, and you have all the specs in the world on it. And now I really want to go to the specs side, because lots of people are thinking that if you are buying a micro four thirds camera, you'll have problems regarding noise in low light environments and so on. Yes, you'll have problems regarding noise, but this doesn't mean that you can't overcome those problems. To overcome those problems, first you need to be better at photography. So this means that you must start improve yourself. Think about composition, think about light again. Photography, it's painting with light. And more than that, photography, it's also post-processing. So if you have a good picture, you can't expect that the picture will look at its maximum as a JPEG from that camera. So if you really want the best from that picture, you must edit the picture or give it to someone to edit it. More than that, now we have AI that it's cleaning all the noise without any problems. So one click and you have a clean file. One click and you have an enlarged file. That it's a good file. And you don't need to have those big files like 40 megapixel APS-C, like 100 megapixels full frame if you don't use those megapixels, if you don't print big. My OMD M10 Mark IV, it's still delivering in a massive crop way, and I will show you a trick how you can use this camera as a half frame camera. So huge crop with the old sensor, and it's working. So regarding sensor in low light and what Olympus can do, from my point of view, it's not a real problem, because how I've said, use light, use AI software when you need it, and more than that, you have crazy IBIS. I don't have on this camera the latest, craziest IBIS. But this little camera, that it's ultra light and it can be pocketable with the right lens, I can shoot it 5 seconds from my hand. So in low light environment, I can make very interesting pictures. 5 seconds, again, 5 seconds from my hand with a wide lens. And that lens doesn't have optical image stabilization on it. And I'll show you immediately what is that lens. So overall, regarding image quality and what you can get from this sensor, from my point of view, it's no discussion here. Now, on the other side, when we are looking at APS-C, especially Fujifilm, yes, Fujifilm has one main advantage, and that main advantage is not the IBIS and their 7 stops IBIS that they are pretending that they have. And I'll compare a little Olympus, this old little camera with X-T50. Now, the Fujifilm advantage, it's their colors in the JPEGs and also the RAW files. And if you want that color, that vintage-like color and that unnatural color and that hipstery color and that special color, okay, so you have many colors. Yes, Fujifilm is the only one that will offer you this easy peasy. But also you can use Cobalt profiles and get Fujifilm colors on Olympus. But more than that, Olympus, even if they don't have these diversified profiles, they have a very pleasing colors to them. So the colors from the Olympus cameras are very pleasing, especially for portraiture, for nature photography, and so on. So very, very pleasing color. Very hard to obtain this color with other cameras. So very versatile color depending on what you want to do. And if you want to take the vintage look, yes, you can apply different presets. So you get good color in this camera, and this is a huge, huge advantage when we are talking about color. But yes, limited when we are comparing to Fujifilm. But with the latest options that are on OM3 and OM5, you'll be able to control better the color. But other than that, if you want just a simple and beautiful color, the JPEGs from the OM system, Olympus system are very good. And also the black and white files, very, very good black and white files regarding JPEGs. But the secret sauce, it's in the RAW files. So when it comes to edit the RAW files from any Micro Four Thirds camera, you have lots of flexibility if you know what you are doing. Of course, you can't pull the shadows and the highlights like on a full frame camera, but it's not needed. You can control the contrast, you can control the curve tone, and you'll also be there like with a full frame camera. But yes, you need to know some photography and you need to know some settings, but you can do it. I've shot this camera by night, and I was able to apply the same settings and the same pulling of shadows and highlights like on a full frame camera. So I've shot this camera underexposed by night and long exposure shots and all kinds of shots. What I didn't do with a Micro Four Thirds camera, don't ask me, because the kind of photography that I can do with a Micro Four Thirds camera, it's over any system that I have. And also videography, because regarding the video part, you have incredible IBIS. I can hand hold again this camera 5 seconds for photography. I can shoot this camera with the 45mm f1.8 Olympus lens and have stable footage at 90mm by hand. So tell me, what system can offer you this? Now let me compare a little Olympus OM10 Mark IV, so a beginner camera, an entry-level camera, a cheap camera that you can buy on the used market, to X-T50 IBIS. I just want to address the IBIS. Well, with X-T50 IBIS, X-T5 IBIS, I can barely shoot at 28mm equivalent 1 second from my hand. So multiple shots to get one steady shot. And this is a bummer. So if I will use longer lenses, again, you need to try more and more and more. I really don't get where the 7 stops IBIS it's on Fujifilm. So this has, I don't know, 5 stops, 7 stops. I don't know how many stops it has, and I'm really not interested. I'm interested in the end results, in what this camera can do in real world photography. And in real world photography, how I've said, this camera can shoot stable footage from hand at 90mm equivalent field of view in full frame terms and 5 seconds from my hand with a wide lens without any problems. Fujifilm, it is maximum out at 1 second. So this is true IBIS, and this true IBIS plus the new features that are on OM3, OM5 and so on will unlock lots of powerful photography techniques for your photography, being street photography, travel photography, nature photography, and so on. So huge deal here. Now, before addressing if OM system and the Micro Four Thirds in general have the right lenses for street photography, let me show you the trick to shoot this camera in half frame mode. So Olympus, not OM system, so Olympus already had this feature on Olympus OMD M10 Mark IV. You can go into your menu and set the camera to shoot 3:4 format. So not 4:3, the default format, but 3:4, a vertical format, and boom. you have a half frame camera. You can shoot horizontally and take half frame pictures. So there you go. For years, we had a half frame camera and a more versatile half frame camera because yes, the JPEG will be a vertical JPEG, but you will also have RAW files, not like on X-Half. So you'll have RAW files and JPEG files. But more than that, you'll have a frame, and I really love to have a frame inside of my camera. I really don't like too much this frame. I would have wanted a simple small frame, but I'm okay also with this frame. But you'll have a frame, and that frame is really helping you make better composition. And let's say you failed to make the composition good because you are shooting RAW with a half frame format. You can recompose in post-processing a lot. And more than that, this is another trick for street photography. I'm shooting 3x2 with this camera, but I can always recompose in 4x3 or C/2 because I have the RAW file. So this is one of the most versatile way to shoot street photography. You will be assured that you will not miss shots. It's a real pleasure to shoot in 3x2 and have a RAW file in 4x3. This will help you save shots and recompose. This is a lifesaver. This is a real lifesaver. So I'm totally loving this way of shooting Olympus OMD M10 Mark IV and GX9. Also, GX9 can do this. Now, before getting to the street photography lenses, let's see what else we have on Olympus. So, on Olympus, we have a tilt screen. We have a tilt screen, and a tilt screen that is working by touch to shoot. A screen that is very responsive. We have an EVF, a very bright, beautiful, with a great eye point, EVF. And we have a nice, very beautiful grip. And more than that, we have a light body. The body is one of the lightest bodies that I have. This is why I'm starting to love a lot this Olympus. So think about this versatility. Ultra light body, EVF with great eye point, and a tilt screen and a touch screen that is working flawlessly. The only downside is that, yes, I don't have the latest Olympus AF and so on. So I have a contrast-based AF and it's failing from time to time. But it's not a deal breaker. It's not a deal breaker. Of course, I'm very sorry that OM system didn't decide to release an OMD M10 Mark IV, Mark V or OM. Anyway, a new camera with a tilt screen and with their latest AF and with their latest IBIS and all tidbits that are out there. They've released OM5, but again with that flippy screen that I really don't like. So this is the only downside that I don't like at the latest OM released cameras and also OM3. No tilt screen. I think it's such a big mistake. OM3, it would have been my best street photography camera because of the lenses. By the way, if you want to make better photos, you must know that it's not about the gear. It's about composition. It's about light. It's about seeing with your eyes and pre-visualizing the picture. So for this, I've recently launched a course with my techniques to get better pictures. So if you want to learn to make better pictures and especially composition, why not join my Photography Academy? To get access to my course, you must be subscribed to my channel and join my membership Photography Academy level. When you'll have that level, you'll have access to my street photography composition course, where I show you how I am making the pictures and where I teach you how to make the same picture. So I'm telling you why a picture is good and why it's working and why I've decided to keep it in color or to keep it in black. So you learn lots of tips and techniques if you are joining the membership program. And more than that, joining my membership, it means that any premium course that I will launch, you'll have access to it. So join now my TM Photography Academy by subscribing to my channel and hit the join button from YouTube. And yes, I want now to touch the lenses when it comes to street photography. Do we have lenses for travel and nature photography, or do we have lenses for street photography? From my point of view is that the majority of the lenses on Micro Four Thirds system and especially on Olympus system are great and amazing for street photography. Yes, any Olympus lens and any Panasonic, Leica lens, Lumix lens are great for street photography. Not great, amazing, amazing. And why I'm saying that? There is no lens that I can say I hate it and I don't like how it's working. So the majority of the lenses have fast AF, they are small, they are competent, and they are doing their jobs. Yes, there is one lens that it was focusing a little slower, but I've used it for many, many years, and that lens, it is the Lumix 20mm f1.7 lens that I loved a lot. But in the end, I want to share with you my latest lenses that I love on the OM system. Some I've sold and I want to buy them again, looking at my pictures and realizing what I've lost. So first, this is the Olympus 25mm f1.8 lens. This lens is not so sharp at f1.8, but is doing the job very well. It is focusing blazing fast, and look how nice it's looking on Olympus OMD M10 Mark IV. It is very easy to me to use this camera as a 50mm camera with the EVF, with the screen, and to get all kinds of shots. It is one of the most amazing combo out there, and this was one of the reasons that I've bought again Olympus OMD M10 Mark IV. I had Mark II, sold it, and after using this lens on GX9, where GX9 doesn't have such a great EVF, and GX9 was a little heavier, I wanted again an Olympus camera. And this body and lens are a perfect match. And again, any Micro Four Thirds body, and especially OM body, it will be a perfect match with the small 25mm f1.8 lens. Look how small it is and look how nice it looks. Crazy versatile package for street photography, for Henri Cartier-Bresson style of street photography, and especially because we have a very nice EVF with a great eye point. So it's very easy to see the EVF and make the composition. Now, regarding other small lenses, 50mm f1.7 Lumix lens, I don't have it, but I want it. It's a great lens, but I have here another great lens, and I don't feel the need too much for the 50mm f1.7 Leica lens, because I have here the 40mm f2.5 Panasonic lens, and I've used this lens with Olympus and it's working great, and also with GX9. Yes, the f it's a little bit slower, but not a deal breaker. So touch to shoot AF with the shutter, with the EVF, with the screen, no worries, you'll get the picture, and it's ultra light. And this ultra light small lens, seen as a matchbox, it will make from your Olympus OMD M10 Mark IV a packetable camera, or any other Olympus OM system camera, and so on. So a great little tiny lens that has great image quality, Leica-like image quality. I'm really loving this lens. Look how small and light it is. Look how small and light it is. The next lens, it is the 30mm f3.5 macro lens. Really loving this lens for street photography, for getting it close, for taking all kinds of portraiture and candid portraits. It's doing the job, and you have the macro capabilities here. So really loving a lot for candid street photography, portraiture, and so on. And the field of view in the 4x30 format, again, a great field of view. Now, a lens that you really must have it is the Olympus 70mm f1.8 lens. What can I tell you about this lens? It's a dream lens, and any Fujifilm user would have wanted a lens like this. First, you have a manual focusing clutch with zone focusing and with a hard stop, so you can manual focus this lens however you want. I understand that the latest lens doesn't have the manual focusing clutch because it's a weather sealed lens. I'm sorry for this, but really loving the manual focusing clutch of this lens, so you can shoot this lens by using zone focusing in street photography. And also at f1.7, from my point of view, this lens, it is as good and not even better than the X100V lens. I've obtained similar portraits with this lens, similar pictures with this lens. I'm not able to see big differences between this lens and the Fujifilm lens. So regarding depth of field, sharpness, and how the subject is popping, you'll get similar results like X100V lens. So huge deal, very versatile lens, ultra sharp, and it's focusing ultra fast. This lens, it's replacing in a way my 20mm f1.4 lens. This is why I sold 20mm f1.4 lens, OM system, but yes, now I'm really regretting that lens, and it's on my #1 list to buy it again, because I was able to see that now, even if this is close, the focal length, it's really helping the bokeh of that lens, and also the f1.4, it's really helping that lens to give me something more. And I've always said in my videos, but it seems that I forgot, that the 20mm f1.4 lens, it is much better than the X106 X100V lens. And of course it's much better, and it's way much better. Yes, it is a chunkier lens, it is a heavier lens, but the image quality and the versatility plus a Micro Four Thirds body like this Olympus or GX9 or any other body, it will help you get all kinds of an amazing shots, the feather bokeh and all what it's in that lens. The lens that I regret a lot selling it is 20mm f1.4 lens. Now another lens that I recommend, I've used a lot and also sold it because I didn't have any time to use it, it is the 45mm f1.4 Olympus lens. Small little lens that you can take with your Olympus body and take all kinds of shots. So the Micro Four Thirds system, ultra versatile. In one camera bag I can pack at least 4 or 5 lenses. These small lenses, not premium lenses, but these small lenses have premium image quality and do all kinds of photography that I wasn't able to do with other cameras. So these are my main street photography lenses that I've used for street photography with Olympus and Micro Four Thirds bodies. But more than that, comparing this system to other systems, we have competent zooms. We have zooms that are out of this world regarding reach, versatility and image quality. So I will start first with my second big regret that I've sold it. It is the 12-100 f4 Olympus Pro zoom. There is no other zoom like that zoom in the world from my point of view. Yes, we have Sony with 100 megapixels, 60 megapixels, and we can slap a camera on, but it's not the same. It's not the same. We will never ever had that IBIS. We will never ever had that way of rendering an image. Yes, it's a Micro Four Thirds rendered image, and of course you'll not have the full frame look, but if you know to look at an image, you'll really appreciate those pictures taken with 12-100 f4. It's a zoom that has micro contrast. It's a zoom that has plenty of details and sharpness in any corner of your frame from 12 to 100. So from 24mm to 200mm. Yes, at 100mm it's losing a little, but not by much, irrelevant. But more than that, you have a great optical image stabilization with that lens. Weather sealed, weather built, metal built. Crazy zoom, crazy pro zoom, and also that zoom has crazy macro capabilities. So you can get any picture that you want with that zoom. From macro to street photography, to family photography, to abstract photography, to portraiture photography, and so on. So that zoom, it's an all-around zoom. My travel combo, it's in general with an all-around zoom and with the small 17 f1.8 Olympus lens. And now, yes, I've replaced 12-100 f4 zoom with this zoom. This zoom, it is 14-150 millimeters. So I have a range from 28 millimeters to 300 millimeters. So crazy range. Crazy zoom, crazy light and small, so better for travel photography. So it really depends if you want better image quality or if you want a longer reach and a lighter package. From my point of view, I should have kept 12-100 and also the zoom and choose the zoom that I need depending on my needs. But overall, yes, if you don't nitpick, this zoom will do the job. The only thing that I feel that it's bothering me regarding this zoom is that I don't have optical image stabilization on it, and also I don't have the fast AF that I had on the f4 zoom. Now regarding image quality, yes, it's a little bit under, but not by much, and in the end I get similar results. But 12-100, it was a real premium zoom and a real pleasure to use it. Being long exposure shots, detail shots, filming and so on, macro shots and so on. But yes, this is doing the job. But again, really regretting 12-100. Now on the wide part, yes, we have many zooms from Olympus, but because I already have this ultra wide zoom from Panasonic, Lumix, I didn't felt the need to buy other zooms from Olympus. And the zoom that I'm using, it is 7 to 14 millimeters. So 14 millimeters in full frame terms, so a huge field of view, a very wide field of view, to 28 millimeters field of view, parfocal f4 with internal zooming. So the lens, it will not extend at all. It's a real pleasure to use this lens on Olympus OM-D-M10 Mark IV, a real pleasure. It's staying real nice on the camera. The camera, it is pretty well balanced and you can take all kinds of great, amazing shots with this combo. So crazy good deal. And with this combo, I'm able to take 5 seconds long exposure shots from my hand. Should I discuss the other Olympus lenses or Panasonic Lumix lenses that are out there, being the f1.2 primes or other zooms that are there? Also, I had 12 to 45 f4 Pro zoom, and also I regret selling it. Because yes, it was a very short zoom, smaller than 12 to 100, but very versatile for day-to-day photography. Again, I didn't like too much the weight, but I was just too nitpicking if you are asking me. So my go-to combo, a period of time that I've really loved regarding image quality, versatility and power of the package, it was 20mm OM f1.4 plus 12 to 45 f4 Pro zoom from Olympus plus Olympus OM-D-M10 Mark IV. And with this combo and with those two lenses, you could do 90% of the photography in the world. Add an ultra wide zoom, add a smaller prime, and again, you can do any kind of still photography and travel photography. So in conclusion, now while I'm talking, I do realize that even if this lens has some weight to it and even if this lens has some size to it, because of the grip of OM-D-M10 Mark IV, it's very okay in the hand. It's very easy to maneuver and to hold this camera. It's not like on Fujifilm where I really need to add a grip, or like other cameras where I need to add a grip. Now the built-in grip of OM-D-M10 Mark IV, it's a real great grip. So my conclusion after using years and years Fujifilm cameras and Olympus cameras side by side, if you aren't a YouTuber, Instagrammer, hipster, TikToker that wants to use the camera brand to make views like I am doing on this channel, then get Olympus. Olympus is one of the best systems out there that will not disappoint you at all when it comes to versatility, lenses and bodies. You have, how I've said, great tech in it. The computational photography, it's not a joke. The IBIS, it's not a joke. The EVF, it's not a joke. The screen is not a joke. These lenses are stellar, and in general, all the lenses are very good on these systems. And the AF, again, it's not a joke. It's working. You'll have all in focus. And if you want more depth of field, of course, you can use the bigger lenses. But photography is not about depth of field and shallow depth of field. Photography, it's about composition. It's about storytelling. It's about light. It's about knowing to isolate your subject using the background. And again, if you really want to isolate your subject, you have those f1.4, f1.2 lenses. So if you really want to go into photography and in street photography, and don't worry about your options when it comes to photography in the field and have the best tool at you, I still recommend Olympus. You have here the best tool. It's all about you to get the shot and to get the end result. The color will not make a better photography. A better photography is made just by making better composition, and after having a photography with better composition, then it's about the editing. But if you don't have better composition and if you don't know to look at the light, then no system will make you a better photographer. So this is where Olympus is shining. This camera will help you look at the light because, I've said, being a micro four thirds system, you really need to think at this camera like a film camera in a way to get the best out of it. So you need to search for the light. And by training your eye and your brain to search for the light, you will automatically start making better composition and better pictures with any camera. So this is the big secret of the micro four thirds cameras. They are really great but yes, they are asking for you to be serious about photography and start making better pictures. And if you want to make better pictures, why not check my newsletter, check my links in the comments and description for more tips and tricks. Use my affiliate links if you want to buy something from the gear that I'm using. And what is free and it's helping this channel to grow is to watch my next video. See what I'm saying here years ago about Micro Four Thirds versus Fujifilm, and if you should switch to Fujifilm if you have a Micro Four Thirds camera. Big surprise, I feel that I've kept my opinion. Thank you and I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.